to the 37th Annual Ordinary General Meeting of Disability Wales. Hope everybody thoroughly enjoyed the conference and the chance to network with other members. What a brilliant day it's been, and thank you to all our speakers and also to all our staff for all their hard work today. My name's Willow Holloway and I am the Chair of Disability Wales. It's been delightful to see so many members here today, and also those who've been participating from around Wales by joining us online. Brilliant numbers and great turnout. So we won't keep you very long. I'll just explain the voting. Only directors and nominated representatives of full member DPOs are eligible to vote. An electronic voting system has been used to record votes, and all directors and the named representative of full member DPOs should have been sent a link to their email address prior to the AGM. If you haven't already, by clicking on this link, it will enable voting members to cast their votes regarding the various resolutions that our directors will be reading out shortly. We will then share the outcome of all votes at the end of the meeting. If anyone requires assistance with the voting process, please let one of the staff know who are around the room and they will help you. Right, with that, I shall move swiftly on to item 1. So that is over to you, Rhiannon, for any apologies that we've received.
Thank you, Chair. We've received one apology. That's from one of our board members, Jeanette Papadakis.
Okay.
I don't believe we've had any others.
Okay, is there any apologies from anybody else in the room? Okay. Right, Rhiannon, could you please read out the notice of the AGM?
Certainly. So this is to confirm that notice was duly given in accordance with the memorandum and articles, that the 37th Annual Ordinary General Meeting of Disability Wales will be held here at Glamorgan Cricket Club on Tuesday the 17th of October, commencing at 3 p.m. And I can confirm that we are quorate.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Okay, so the next thing to do is to confirm the minutes of the 36th AGM, which was held on the 19th of October last year. Is there anybody in the room who is happy to declare that the minutes are a true and accurate record? Okay, proposed by Felix Shee and seconded by Trevor Palmer. Okay, so if anybody has not voted, they can click on the links to cast your vote now. The votings are open. Are there any matters arising from the minutes of the 36th that need to be raised? You're not a voting member, I don't think, Bill.
Oh, an individual.
You're an individual member, aren't you, rather than a DPO member? Okay. Right. Item 4 is our annual report for 2022-23. Rhiannon, are you happy to present the report?
Again, I am. Thank you, Chair. The full trustees report was circulated with the papers. We are producing a glossier version, and that will be circulated after the AGM. But I am going to go through a couple of the slides that particularly reference our impact and achievements. I don't know if they're going up in the... Oh, right, okay, I'll keep talking. So just to remind everyone, so DW is the National Association of Disabled People's Organisation, striving for the rights and equality of all disabled people. And our core role is to reflect and represent the views of our members, particularly disabled people's organisations, to governments with the aim of informing and influencing policies. We primarily work with Welsh Government and we receive funding from Welsh Government, but we do also seek, where we can, to influence UK Government on policy issues. And some of the key priority areas we've been working on over the last year have been the cost of living crisis, the Disability Rights Task Force, which you heard the Minister for Social Justice talking about, the Welsh Government's commitment, which DW's members have lobbied for over many years, to incorporate the UN Convention on the Rights of Disabled People in Welsh law, and also in our role as core participants in the COVID inquiry. And then another key policy area in terms of our role as an umbrella body of disabled people's organisations around the capacity building of DPOs in Wales. So I think, great, so the slides are going up now. So in terms of the impact that we've had, so the cost of living, our campaign around cost of living has been a major issue for the year, and I know is, you know, in the feedback and responses we've had from members to various things that we've done around this, obviously it is a primary concern for many members. And we've attempted to address what are quite serious issues in two ways, one of which is providing what information and support we can to members in terms of understanding what their rights are, their entitlements, what provision has been made available to support people around the cost of living crisis. And then the second one is to actually have more of a policy approach to it, which is gathering people's views and experience and then producing a report and, using that as an influencing tool with Welsh Government and other stakeholders. So in terms of the support for members, we produced a dedicated information webpage with a lot of contacts and information on it. We ran 8 online information events on a range of issues, of benefits, warm homes, how to kind of keep, reduce energy costs. We looked at things like hate crime, which has come up about, being safe online. So quite a wide range of issues. Across the 8 events, we had over 133 participants taking part, and a number of those events were run with partner organisations, so we're very grateful to them in terms of working together. In terms of the policy emphasis, we decided to produce a report that would capture people's experiences around the cost of living, how it was affecting people in terms of their day-to-day lives, what the key issues were, and then to formulate recommendations that we could then present to Welsh Government and others. So I'm pleased to say we ran an online survey at the early part of the year, so it was around February, so it was in the depths of winter, when heating and electricity costs, etc., were really biting in. So around 74 people responded to the survey. We also ran 2 focus groups in which 25 people took part. So between the 2 exercises, over 100 people engaged in our information gathering exercise. And we produced a report called Barely Surviving, and the impact of COVID on disabled people, impact of the cost of living on disabled people in Wales. And that was launched in July online. And then we've been undertaking quite a lot of work since to make sure that the messages within the report and the recommendations get out. And you may remember that the Minister for Social Justice mentioned that I presented the report to the Disability Equality Forum, and as a result of that, the Minister is going to circulate it to the Cabinet, and particularly the subcommittee of the Cabinet, which is focused on tackling cost of living issues. And we will be holding an event at the Senedd next month to be able to talk to Senedd members. But the title of the report, Barely Surviving, was actually directly taken from one of the participants who responded to the survey, who talked about how they were, they were literally barely surviving day to day, and some of the difficult decisions that people were having to make in terms of managing the, very limited finances and the very high bills that they were facing. And a couple of the things that really stood out was one of the big things that was being cut for many people's transport. People just literally could not afford to go anywhere. And that was, as well as not being able to meet up with friends and to socialise, that was even things like not being able to go to hospital appointments, for example. So that was a big issue. Another issue that really came out very clearly was around silent epidemic around mental health for many disabled people. People not getting support, and it not being identified that the struggle, the everyday struggles would have that impact. A lot of people talked about how their physical health was worsening as well because of the cold, and how it was affecting their breathing or their pain levels, those kind of things. So we've made, and another issue was around social care charging as well. Some people actually having to, no longer have personal assistance because they couldn't afford the charges. So we've made a number of recommendations and around some things that UK government probably need to do. Providers and benefits issues, although we have made a recommendation about personal independence payment being devolved to Wales, for example. We've also talked about work needing to be done around equipment that many disabled people use, but we're finding us inaffordable, to use. And I think that was one of the big findings was that although both Welsh Government and UK Government had put, made funds available through, energy schemes or whatever, there was very little or no targeted support of the specific needs and issues of disabled people. So that is something we want to see or demand to see addressed going forward. So we'll continue to be promoting the report through every avenue that we can. There's copies of it available online on our website, so do feel free to share it. And I just want to thank members so much for taking part in it. I know it was yet another example of people having to share quite painful experiences, but we do know that it is having, people are talking about, the barely surviving, report. So I do thank everybody so much for taking part in it. So that was a big area of impact for the organisation. In another area, we had funding from Welsh Government to do some work with schools around promoting the use of the UN Convention on the Rights of Disabled People in the curriculum, because it's now a duty on education providers to promote both the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, but also the UN Convention on the Rights of Disabled People in the curriculum, through lessons or activities or whatever. So through the work that was done on this project, we produced various resources, 6 videos, a resource pack. We undertook 9 school visits to the pilot schools involved in the project. We engaged with 147 teachers and 1,290 pupils. And so that's, tremendous. And our colleague, Kat, who did that work, I think went down a storm, with his pupils and teachers alike. And I think that work is so important because it is about the next generation. We've been talking all day about attitudes, stereotypical attitudes towards disabled people, but this is a chance where you go in to people at the formative stage in life and really help them to see that difference is just something, whatever, we've been really thrilled with the response of it. For example, one school did as obviously the work we did at their school, went and did a survey of their local town centre and put a petition into the Senedd about accessibility. So yeah, good on them. Then other things, obviously our social media is a big platform for us in terms of how we convey our messages and get information out there. So that's despite some of the challenges around like Twitter to X and what's been going on there. Again, we've had a good year on our online platforms. So on our website, we had nearly 200,000 website visitors. We had over 65,000 unique visitors. In terms of our social media platforms, we've now got 5,500 followers on Facebook. I think it's now 15,000 people following us on Twitter. Then Instagram is under 700, so we're building that one. YouTube, which we're broadcasting on as we speak. At the moment it's 205, so do subscribe to our YouTube page. So in total that we had over 1,300 new social media followers and over 500,000 impressions for our various posts. And we also produced 12 issues of DW News, which reached over 600 subscribers. And I know we do get very good feedback for our e-news. Some people do find it, very, very useful. So going back a year to our conference last year when we celebrated our 50th anniversary, the first time since lockdown we'd held an in-person event, although we also live streamed it as well. So we had 50 in-person participants, 20 online participants, 400 people watched the YouTube live stream, and we did then little chunks of some of the speeches, and of course we had the First Minister speaking as it was our 50th anniversary last year, and the clip of him committing, or recommitting Welsh Government to the social model of disability had over 1,500 views. So, it's there on print or on film for posterity. So then we come to achievements. So I mentioned the COVID inquiry, which is ongoing at the moment. So as you can imagine, it's a very complex inquiry, and it's been split into various modules. We've got what's called core participant status in Module 2, which is government decision making, so that's UK government and Welsh government, and also now Module 4, which is about vaccination policy and therapeutics. And what that means is we get a chance to access, you've probably seen in the media about like Boris Johnson's WhatsApp messages and, Dominic Cummings' diary and that sort of thing. But as core participants, we get a chance to access that material. We get legal representation and support with putting questions to, to the witnesses, as well as being able to, provide evidence ourselves. It's the first time we've ever been involved in a public inquiry. It's very intensive, but we're using the opportunity to really highlight issues like the high death rate of disabled people, for example, again, the lack of designated support, but also just how disabled people's rights regressed and how far short it fell of the UN Convention on the Rights of Disabled People, which the UK government and Welsh government, ratified. And then we had a few awards. So we retained our Investors in People Award, which is about how we engage with the people of the organisations, that's the staff and directors. So we've held that award now since 2005, so it's been renewed for a further 3 years. We got very positive comments from our assessor, about our commitment to our values, which was evident across everyone involved in the organisation, and the way in which we engage people, and encourage and support, contributions to the development of the organisation. And then we also won or were shortlisted for some other awards. So the Wales Online Diversity and Inclusion Award. We're a partner in the programme Equal Power, Equal Voice, which is about mentoring for people with different protected characteristics and different communities to access public life. So along with our colleagues at Women's Equality Network Wales, East and Stonewall, we were awarded the Peer Network Award. So thank you very much for that. It's really good to get that recognition. And then in the WCVA's Welsh Charity Awards, we were shortlisted in the Digital Pioneer category for the work we did around supporting young disabled people to vote in the last year's local government elections. Despite obviously the challenges, of continuing to, working on a hybrid model, we've adapted to that work, and we're now really pushing the boat on hybrid working through things like our conferences, today. We've also now moved from our offices in Caerphilly, and we're now at the Spark building, which is part of Cardiff University. It offers great opportunities for collaborations with university research teams, with other organisations based there, as well as enabling us to access a range of facilities to run hybrid meetings, etc. I think that's been a positive move for us. So I'd like to put the annual report forward to you and thank, with all my heart, the Board of Directors for their sterling work throughout the year, and also all my colleagues at DW whose passion and commitment every day is outstanding, and without whom we wouldn't be able to have this impact or have these achievements. So thank you all very much. Diolch yn fawr.
Thank you, Rhian. Is there any comments or questions from the floor?
Just one minute. You know when you said about the report,
Need the microphone, Bill.
yeah, when you said about the reports, there was one that was in combination with the health board. A minister who lives in Cardiff, his name's Edward Elodie. I think he's a bishop. He was one of the interviewers for that. Is that a report that you're following through, or is it mainly going through to the learning disability side?
That's not one we're directly involved with, no. Is that, I don't know whether learning disability, or was People First perhaps involved, more directly involved with that? I don't know. It's not one we're directly, it's not one that we've kind of produced.
It's not one
No problem.
Okay, in that case, if there's no other comments and questions, could I ask Anne to put Resolution 1 to the meeting, please?
Yeah, sure. Resolution 1 is that the annual report of the Board of Directors for the year ended 31st of March 2023 is accepted as received.
Okay, could I call for a seconder?
Yeah. Will somebody second that, please?
Okay, Trevor? Thank you. Okay, so if you haven't voted already, could you please vote on Resolution 1 now? And whilst you're doing that, I'd just like to thank the board and all our staff for their hard work and commitment this year. It has been another challenging year. There's a lot of worries for disabled people, but all of our staff and our board are very committed to ensuring that the rights of disabled people continue to be recognised. So also with that, could I now pass over to Kelvin, our treasurer, to consider the audited accounts from 2022-23, please.
Thank you very much. Yes, it gives me great pleasure to present the annual financial reports to the members and partners of our organisation. As you all know, we've seen a lot of changes again in our society over the financial year 2022-2023, and of course with the issues of brain's gone with the issues around cost of living. We've all suffered quite substantial difficulties. We did manage to obtain some income streams, but they were very short-term over cost of living to support our costs, but unfortunately they are, as I said, short-term. And so we're still going to have to fight for core costs within our organisation. We do have some core costs committed through the Welsh Government for the next few years, but we do have to diversify the way that we generate our income, and we have, during the year, secured ways of doing that through training and consultancy, and this is an area of work that we'd like to see expand over this financial year. During the year, we've reviewed and undergone a complete checking of our financial procedures and robustly reviewed the systems and compliance during the year. And for that, I'd like to really thank our finance team and the Chief Exec for working with us through that, so that we may continue to operate to the highest standards to deliver our aims and objectives for our members. If you do have any comments or thoughts that you'd like to mention on the accounts, I can refer you to our financial officer, who will be able to answer any of your queries. Any questions, comments? Yes?
How much?
Oh, microphone.
Sorry. Hi. How much is your grant and aid from Welsh Government?
Annually, it's 150,000 a year, but that doesn't fully cover our core costs.
And are they pushing you for the diversification, or is it a decision the board has taken themselves?
Pushing for?
Diversification of your income?
It's something to financially manage ourselves. We are looking to do that as a way of reducing our grant dependency. But obviously, if the Welsh Government are reducing or not expanding our costs, yeah, we are sort of having to go down that loop.
And a follow-up question, is the board looking for expertise around diversification, or have you got the skills within the organisation?
We're always looking for members and new directors with those skills. We do have within us a number of business and entrepreneurial skills in developing income streams. But as I said, if people are interested in participating and getting involved, obviously we've gone through a process now for our directors. It would have to be for next year. But we do have within our group expertise in income generation.
Okay, thank you.
Rhian?
Yeah, it's a good question, Damien. I suppose the other thing to mention, and I perhaps could have mentioned it on my report, was we did get, last year we got funding from WCVA, the Third Sector Resilience Funding, and we were able to use that to bring in some expertise around how we develop our training and consultancy side of our work. I mean, obviously it's a big challenge, it's a very competitive market, and it's, we're striking the balance between delivering the core aims of the organisation, but then also, doing like training consultancy work. But we have got a plan in place to kind of help us take that forward, and there's various things that we've been doing to sort of make it happen in terms of produce data, for example. Like we've got a new, is it CRM? If people know, yeah, CRM. I have the thumbs up from Leandra. Things like that. Looking at accreditations, blah, blah, blah. So, but yes, all expertise always welcome, because it's a competitive market, and I think, I don't know, don't bring it down, but we've seen what happened to Chwarae Teg. That was quite a big shock for the sector, and that's an organisation, that had done a lot to develop its training consultancy work, but it's hard out there at the moment. So, yeah, thank you.
So I'd like to, if it's possible, please, to ask about whether we can have the audited accounts for the year ended 31st of March 2023 are accepted and received as Resolution 2. Do I have anyone to propose that? Felix, and seconded. Trevor, thank you.
That moves us on to item 6, which is to ratify the election of members to the Board of Directors. So I'll hand over to Rhian to explain the ballot procedures once she's put her password in.
Sorry, I relaxed for a moment. So we never relax in an AGM. Sorry about that. Yes, so so we put out, earlier in the summer, we put out, circulated nomination papers to our full member disabled people's organisations to make nominations to the Board of Directors. So we had the situation where, because of there's like a 3-year rotation, Two members of the current board needed to step down but could be re-nominated to serve up to another 3 years. But then also it's open to any new nominations, you know, if somebody who's not currently on the board to also put their name forward or have their name put forward. So the nomination papers went out. We received 3 nominations. However, there wasn't a requirement to hold a ballot because there wasn't a competition for any of the particular places. You know, so we had more places than on the board than nominations. So there's no need for a ballot. So in that case, and if I just get the resolution, this is one where I have to take a deep breath to read it because it's a very long sentence. So the two returning members are Trevor and Debbie, and then one new board member, Tracy Blockwell from Torfaen Access Forum. So the resolution is that the election of Tracy Blockwell, Trevor Palmer and Debbie Schaffer be endorsed as members of the Board of Directors to hold office until the conclusion of the 2027 Annual Ordinary General Meeting or until such time they are required to resign as a result of any lottery held under the terms of standing orders to ensure rotation of board membership or reach the maximum length of continuous service permitted within the DW Memorandum and Articles.
And breathe.
If you haven't already voted, this is your opportunity to vote on that nomination. That resolution. Yeah.
Okay. Whilst we're doing that, I'd like to welcome both Debbie and Trevor back to the board, and a very warm welcome to the new board member, Tracy Blockwell. We also have the outcome of an appointed director recruitment. Disability Wales's board has the power to appoint directors to fill specific knowledge and skills gaps to support the governance of Disability Wales. And these directors are appointed following a competitive recruitment exercise. Following a recruitment process over the summer, this is to inform the AGM of the following appointments. Kelvin Jones has been reappointed for a final 3-year term, having served 6 years on the board, including a year as treasurer. And Dr. Amy Grant has been appointed for an initial 3-year term. Congratulations to Kelvin on his reappointment, and many thanks for his commitment and dedication in the role of treasurer, especially at this challenging time. And congratulations and a very warm welcome to Amy, and we look forward to working with them. So that takes us on to item 7, which is to appoint our auditors. So I invite Kelvin to put resolution 4 to the meeting.
That Chartered Accountants ASETs be appointed as auditors to hold office until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting, and that the board be authorised to fix their remuneration.
Thank you. The members eligible to vote should do so now if they haven't already. We'll just give it a couple of minutes. I believe Sean has the results of the voting. Oh, Leandra has.
That looks like it's news to Leanne.
Dun, 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 dun. know that all resolutions have passed, and I open. And with that, I open up the floor to any other business.
I've got some any other business.
Okay.
I'm also going to stand by the lecterns so the sound guys, so I don't echo. Okay, yes, so I've got 2 items of any other business. So obviously we've had a really special day today, hope everyone agrees, in terms of our annual conference. But it's also been a special day for one person in particular, and that's our chair, because it is her birthday today. So I think we should all sing. Anyone like to pitch the... happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Willow. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, harmony!
Yeah.
Harmony! Exciting.
Thank you, everybody. Blushing now.
Thank you.
Oh, and flowers. Oh, thank you. Oh, purple ones. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's just a token from us on at DW board and staff, and also an appreciation for all you do for us as chair. It's really greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
And yeah, enjoy the rest of your birthday and relax.
And have a brandy when we get back to the hotel.
And yeah, and I've got one other item of business. So again, you know, a huge amount of work has gone into today, and it's always a team effort. But there's one person in particular who has led that team, but not only led on the work of putting together today's conference, but led on so many other important pieces of work that we've done within DW over many years. In fact, 18 years in total, because 18 years ago today, a very young and enthusiastic person joined our organisation as Disability Equality Officer, and that person is Miranda Evans.
You've put me right on the spot now.
So I just want to thank you from all of us for everything you've contributed to DW over 18 years, and hopefully many more to come.
Thank you very much. I didn't expect this. So today's quite an important day for me, actually. It's the 17th of October. It's the day I had a car accident 26 years ago, which led me on a journey of disability rights and working for this organisation. So you had to be disabled to work for this national organisation that I highly respect. So I feel that my car accident was inevitable. It was meant to happen, and it is fate that led me here. So thank you all. I love working for this organisation, and I didn't expect this.
Hey, right, is there any other business on the floor? No? Okay, so that's the date of our next AGM is to be confirmed, isn't it? I don't think we've got a date in. So in that case, I will close the AGM. Many, many thanks to all who have contributed to an absolutely excellent conference today, and to all the staff for their successful organisation of the event, and of course to everyone for attending. Please have a safe journey home.